Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. This is going to be a very exciting episode because I've brought someone on that a lot of you have asked to learn more about and talk with. And you've seen her in a lot of videos on Facebook and TikTok and whatnot. But we have Miss Rachel Hadley today, who is the Running Springs barn manager and has been a team member for about 1.5 years now. So we're gonna get to you, but I got to do the wrap up first.
Okay.
Of what's happened in the last week. So
the catch up.
The catch up, if you will.
While you're all here.
The catch up. So I am going to send us out of the room for a moment because the big thing on campus is Janice. She's large, but not because she's mini, right? But she is very pregnant. And we don't know if she's going to hold out because I'm going out of town this week. When this is aired, I will actually be in Canada. And so we don't know if she's going to hold out until I get back. And if she does, she'll be my favorite mini of all. But we're going to go take a look at her at 329 days pregnant. So we're magically in the mini barn. So this is Janice. If you haven't seen, this is one of my mini mares, and she is my only mini mare who is pregnant this year. So she is due pretty much at any time. She's 329 days pregnant today. I would say mini horses, they have a regular due date. 340 days is average. They can come a little bit earlier than big mares safely, but she is surpassed that point at this stage. But also, the last time she foaled, it was day 350. So we could be 3 weeks away. We could be any day. So I figured we'd take a little look at her body and just look and see how she's changing. Now, she's been one of those mares that she hasn't looked pregnant until probably the last week. So she's just now gotten to where her belly's starting to really sink down. She's starting to get the Dorito hip, I call it, where it's like a triangle. She's getting real flat in her hip and jiggly. Her tail, she's been holding it out lately. We'll take a look at her udder here in a bit. She's losing a little. She's like, don't be showing them my goodies. Anyway, so I'm going to get Lindsay to come hold her, and I'll show you her milk today. Let's get down here. It is pretty far. But, if you followed with foaling season with the big mares, it's very similar with the little ones. So clear milk, not saying they couldn't go ahead and foal, but generally speaking, they're going to go from clear to cloudy to pretty opaque and then white milk. And when they have that super white milk, that's when you're in that 24 to 48 hour period before they're going to foal. So let's take a look. She's definitely getting fuller. Oh, that's a lot cloudier. We're not opaque yet, but that's cloudy. Okay, we're definitely changing. And did I mention I'm going out of town in 2 days for a week? So let's hope she holds out. But let me know what you think. And then back to the podcast room. And we're back. So Rachel is so embarrassed right now to be here.
I have hives.
She's been so nervous.
My hands are sweaty.
I told her about it last Friday. I was like, listen, a lot of people want you on here, and she was like, I'm like, it's not live. If you say something dumb, we just take it out.
Or we zoom in on you.
Or we zoom in and leave it in and laugh at it. That's
your
also
reputation is the only thing at stake here.
Well, I don't have much. So.
Yeah, it's just your job at stake. It's fine.
Oh. Katie's great to work for.
So like I said, it's been about 1.5 years, but obviously we know you personally, and we know your background with horses, your other careers that you've had, and what brought you here, and certain specific things about the last 1.5 years of you working here. But not everyone else does, because generally you're just one of the main working characters in the videos. You're busy. So we get to actually deep dive into Rachel. So I put a post on Facebook, and I got 900 comments of people asking about you.
And we're going through all of them.
Every single
all
one.
900.
Okay, how old are you?
22.
I'm just kidding. That was not a question.
What's your shoe size?
That was just me trying to be mean.
That's fine. I'm 34. I'm old. I know. I know.
Okay, so I don't even think there's going to be a rhyme or reason to these, so we might jump around just a little bit. And now for today's sponsor, which is Flexispot. Today, we are sitting in the Flexispot Recliner XL6. They are so comfortable. One big thing that is a plus for me is it is wide. I love sitting in chairs cross-legged and having enough space for me and my puppy to sit. So it's very comfortable with heated functions, massage functions, and it's very user-friendly. 4 size options available. The medium size supports up to 400 pounds, and the other 3 sizes support up to 440 pounds. Because of the dual motors, it has independent control of the backrest and footrest, which allows you to adjust both to any position and angle you prefer, and it can even recline nearly flat at 180 degrees. Speaking of the lift function, if you have elderly people at home or people with limited mobility, this recliner is perfect. It makes it very easy to get in and out and super accessible. And while it's comfortable, it's also affordable. If you look at other recliners this size with these functions in this market, they are not going to touch this price. And I know y'all hear me talking about my back pain and issues I have from past riding accidents, and with the heat function, the massage function, it's going to help circulation and pain relief, which is another plus. A couple of smaller but also very cool things about this chair. So the remote has a USB function where you can plug in and then conveniently plug into your phone. So you're sitting here in your comfy chair and your phone's dying. Not anymore. It's charging right there. And on top of that, you're like, hey, I'm holding my phone. I don't want to hold my phone. I want to take a nap, but I want my phone to be in a secure location. There are side pockets. If all of those amazing functions sound great to you for a very comfortable chair, go ahead and click that link in my description to shop. You can use the code on the screen here for an additional $50 off your order. And if you order 2, you get $100 off. So hope you enjoyed, and back to it. This one is funny. How many Mountain Dew cans do you find in a typical day?
I stopped counting because it's many.
She and Alyssa, when because they both started working at like the same time, at the very beginning, y'all would just start sending me photos
Yes.
of them left.
We were going to
around.
make a collage at the end of the year, and it was just too many.
But here's the thing. They're all like half full. I forget. I just set them down and forget them.
Or you don't drink the last bit because that's icky.
It is icky. The last, it's like
Mountain Dew
backwash.
monument.
I'm
of
going to be
Katie.
honest. I didn't know I did this until very recently because Macy called me out on it. I've been doing this thing where I get to like the last bite of my food
And
and I look at it and I go,
Like the chicken tastes too much like chicken. At
so
that
I
point.
know.
I get it on the last sip now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get there and you're like,
Yeah.
Sip more than bite for me.
I don't know what it is lately. Like today at lunch, I love Waldo's chicken tenders. And I was eating them and all of a sudden I was just like, no more.
if any wave of anything catches me mid-meal, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah. So it's a lot, but it's fine. I've been better.
Sure.
Maybe.
Katie's great to work for.
Okay. These are just some barn questions. We're heating you up before we ask the deep diving stuff because we got to get you loosened up.
Loosey goosey.
Which mare is your favorite? Which foal is your favorite? And which non-equine critter is your favorite?
Ooh.
Mare, foal, non-equine.
That's not fair.
Why?
Because they're all so special.
They're probably just
She
excited to
has
ask
some
somebody who
least
knows all their
favorites.
names.
Least favorite, Annie.
No,
What?
you cannot tell me Charlotte is not your least favorite.
She's getting better.
Don't pull this on me now. She is a Charlotte hater and has been, and it's like,
Only because she's crazy. And you don't see the crazy. She only shows me and Alyssa. But she's getting better. I'm tolerating it.
honestly, the massages
The
have
massage.
like been a game changer for her. Like lots of just positive touch all the time.
Yes.
Okay. So favorite though,
I'd say Erlene.
Erlene.
Yeah.
She's a
Because
sweet
she's
girl.
like quirky, but fun.
Yeah, you give her lots of kisses. I get like regular videos of her kissing Erlene. I know your favorite foal.
Yes, you do. It's Huckleberry.
Huckleberry.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll throw up some pictures of these animals for those that aren't avid watchers and you don't know the 150 animals by name.
Yeah.
So Erlene, she's gorgeous. I
Mhm.
mean, how could you not love her
Yeah.
and her freckles? And then Huckleberry,
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty cute. She just makes out with him like every morning.
He makes that with me.
He has a very like kissable nose. But then non-equine critter. Is it one of the cats?
Probably Sprout.
Wow.
She's also a goat hater.
Another?
Don't lie.
I don't want one. I don't need one. You have 500 of them. I can come kiss whenever I want. But Sprout also, we make out. It's fine.
Sprout, he is all for the kisses.
Sprout seems like the MVP.
It's because he was the first one and he was by himself and he was an underdog story.
Yeah.
And then he was treated like a dog. And so now he's the oldest and acts like a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't blame you because I also go kiss his face a billion times a day.
You're the problem. You pick him up, he literally just lays on you.
He does. He like hugs you.
Yes.
That's sweet.
It is.
That's sweet.
You need to go get a goat snuggle in.
I do.
They don't care
They're the
about
best right now. This is before, and I've said it before, this is before they get all weird.
Yes.
All weird looking.
Bella sat in my lap yesterday. The grown mother. Like she
She's
came over and
jealous.
she was just like, I want to be in your lap. So they only stop acting like a dog when you stop treating them like a dog.
Yeah.
Do you have your own horses at home?
I do. I have Chromie.
Chromie.
Well, his name's Chrome, but his Chromathiacin.
What?
That's his government name.
What?
Chromathiacin?
It's Chromathiacin.
That's sick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is
That's like a
his registered
transformer.
name?
No.
What's his registered name?
Chromalotti.
Chromalati. That's still cool.
I know. I don't know which is cooler.
Yeah.
I do know which
And
is
he's a
cooler.
paint.
It's the first one.
Yes. He's paint and quarter.
Oh, he's double.
Mhm.
I didn't know he was double. I thought he was just paint because he's pretty chrome. I mean,
Chromed out.
says the name.
Mhm.
Chrome is who Waylon was hanging out with for a little
Yes.
while.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they were both very like striking together with their blazes and
And their flowing manes.
Mhm. So how long have you had Chrome though?
About 2 years.
Okay.
Because I was showing for a client and he ended up giving him to me.
Branching off of that,
Mm-hmm.
so you've been in Tennessee for a short time.
About 3.
So 3 years. So
Yeah.
in the 3 years that you've been here, what was your like equine experience like? Because I'm not the only barn you've worked for. So you've been with me for like a year and a half. So prior to me, I know you were like kind of, we don't have to say like names and stuff, but you were like a trainer and stuff. So go a little into
I
that.
wouldn't say a trainer. I was assisting with training up in Springfield
Mm-hmm.
for about a year. And then I gave lessons at a barn in Las Casas
Mhm.
for about 6 months and ended up at your
Right.
barn.
So fun fact, the day that Rachel
Yes.
came for like an interview,
Oh yeah.
that was just
It was a great day.
rough day.
Yes.
So we were in a transitional period where we had figured out we needed more help, but then we also, one of our previous longtime employees had changed career paths. And so he had quit and we needed, to replace his spot as well. And so we were interviewing both you and Alyssa at the same time. Alyssa also works in the barn and you more for like a managerial and like,
Which I did not know.
yeah, that was kind of,
Your mom told me I was going to be mowing lawns.
what? She's like, we need someone to be able to do everything.
Yeah,
Mow.
basically,
Need a
she
landscaper.
basically said everything.
Okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, it worked out. So she gets there that morning and it's the morning that Cool had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, we don't have to relive that tragedy, but it was one of the most tragic mornings of my entire life. And so I'd been up since like 4 a.m., just absolutely emotioned out. And then you like come up, you're like, hi. And I'm like, hey.
I don't even
So,
think you were there.
Was
when
I?
showed up? No.
I met you though.
Yeah, your mom gave me a tour.
we-
Oh,
And
she
then
gave you
you-
tour first.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you walked in, no emotion, and I'm like, hey, and you're like, hi. I'm like, great. I asked your mom if I could come a different day because I saw on her Facebook page that Cool had died, and I'm like, if you need me to come a different day, and she's like, nope, today's great. I'm like, cool.
Well, I mean, Yeah, it sucks,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, life just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that happened that morning, but like all the horses still had to be fed. Everyone still had to go out. Everyone's, you know,
right.
it was like we were still going to be working. So it's like, well,
Yeah.
we're going to be sad tomorrow too. So
Maybe a little less, though.
but yeah, so that was tragic for you. But at the same time,
More tragic for you.
there was like, I think 2 or 3 babies left in the year last year when you came on. I know Daphne hadn't been born and Wally hadn't.
Daphne, Wally.
7 had already been born.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, way before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he was February. This was March. So,
Yeah.
but basically, because, you know, the whole barn, the breeding side of the business, like everything's been just growing over the last couple of years. And there's not really a trajectory that like there's never been a moment where I know what's going on or happening or like what stage we're going to be at in 6 months or anything. And so when you started, I remember being like, well, we'll just like figure it out.
Literally no direction.
I was like, we'll just figure it out. And so a couple months in, I think we got a little bit of a handle on like you doing more working with the yearlings and you were riding a lot of mares that year because we had a lot of open mares and we were riding a lot together last summer. And then really in like this foaling season, breeding season, like I feel like the managerial.
Yes. My time to shine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed doing that
100%.
part of it?
Yeah.
Like the breeding? I mean, it was
The
new for
breeding-
you.
It was so fun to just learn about all of that because I never really was into breeding, never knew anything of that sort. And it was just like my mom and I talk about it a lot, how much like, she's like, it's so cool how much you get to learn. And I was telling my dad about breeding things and he was just like, that's so cool.
I will say, okay, Nate.
Speaking of learning,
Yes.
what is a chrome horse?
Lots of white.
Just lots of
Yeah,
white?
so you'll say like, oh, that horse is so chromed out because they've got a bunch of like white legs. Like, okay, so like Noelle this year, she came out with 3 white legs and a big white face. I'm like, oh, she's got lots of chrome.
So it's like a slang term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slang for white.
Proceed. I've been Googling, not getting a straight answer.
Yeah, we got a
anywhere.
motorcycle over here.
Oh, well, that's, yeah.
And they knew that wasn't what you
See
were
how
talking about.
flashy it looks, though?
Oh, a
with all
chrome
the chromes?
horse.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
could get how that could be a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah. So you can sound really impressive with not that extensive of knowledge
100%.
with
He
breeding
was
stuff.
like,
you start throwing out follicle,
uh-huh.
ovulation. You start throwing out oocyte.
I
all
think
the
I think
things.
we were talking about the placenta
Mm.
coming out, and he was like, "That's so cool."
I mean, I thought I was making moves when Macy was pregnant and we go to the hospital. I said, so how's the progesterone? And they were like, fine.
It's fine.
Is
It's
it below
fine.
45
Did you check
degrees?
That's not
her
really something-
pH? Did you check her
No,
pH
no.
You
every
should be
night?
like, you know what? Is her milk white yet? let me just check.
It's cloudy.
Cloudy. We're at a 7.5. Not tonight.
So yeah, I think this year it was interesting because I needed a lot more just hands on deck because we were trying to travel a lot more, like going to horse shows and doing stuff with Denver, and it'd be like, oh, I'm trying to travel, but we're in the middle of breeding season, and I've never been in a spot where anybody could help me meet the vet and not absolutely just flub it.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
yeah, that was great. She is
you.
so like, she's got her books all laid out and she's got like all these details. Everyone's like, you just have it off the top of your head. I'm like, I did when I had 5 mares, not anymore.
You're still pretty good though.
I still can't anymore. Like when you check 7 mares
Yeah.
in a row and they all have different stuff going on. I used like when we check 2, 3 mares. Yeah, I just did it up here.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. It's too much. I'll start making mistakes.
No,
So
the
she
book
just
is
logs
impressive.
everything.
The book is impressive.
Thank you.
It's thick.
Yeah.
thick, lots of notes. And then for next year, we know.
Right,
you know.
right. Hey,
Big station.
this
there
one
you go.
always ovulates like before a 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like now about Regina, we know
Mm-hmm.
she's got a long cycle.
I need a mini mare book now.
You do. It needs to be small. Okay, so because your experience with horses didn't really root in the breeding aspect and the
Mhm.
raising of horses, what was your horse experience prior to coming to Tennessee? Like,
Well, I started out in 4-H
Mhm.
and just kind of did like Omoxie stuff and like little tiny
What, you started doing what?
Omoxie.
What is that?
Like, the bending poles and
Oh, like games.
yeah, Omoxie games. No,
Don't
nothing.
look at
Never in
me.
my life have I heard it called that. Is that a
Bending
Montana
poles?
thing?
I'm from Montana.
She's from Montana. Is that a Montana thing?
I don't know.
We always just called it like the games, like because it's like barrels, poles,
Yeah.
keyhole,
Yeah.
flags, stuff like that.
Mm.
Oh, Ricky knits stitches. So
Hello, Dr. Matthew.
Hey, how are you?
Great. How are you?
You're live.
Good.
You're on
Yes.
the Keeping Up with
no,
Katie podcast
don't tell him
right now?
that.
I am.
Yes.
Don't tell him that.
It's not live though, so it'll all be a cutout.
Yeah. That's kind of my MO. People just.
Yeah, they're
it's
like,
like-
that didn't really need to be heard. Do you know what Omoxie is?
Oh my gosh! Just let him talk about the stitches.
I don't know if he's calling about the stitches.
Amoxie?
Yeah, Omoxie.
Amoxicillin?
No,
Antibiotic?
no,
Wrong
never
guy.
mind.
Well, only calling it that from now on.
Okay.
Never
The
mind.
Are you
Amoxicillin
calling about
game.
Ricky
Dang it,
stitches?
I blew it.
Yeah, you
This
did.
is my one time.
Talk about.
I love it. I love that. Was a great
said-
interaction.
He said, "Oh, my one chance."
He said, "I blew it."
I blew it. Amoxicillin?
See, I pulled it up, and it's OMOKSEE games. It's like omoxie.com. It's a scholarship and a leadership program.
It was in a very podunk town.
It looks really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
looks
did.
like
I
barrels and
wasn't
poles and
like
stuff.
great in there. I did. There were like little Western pleasure classes
Mm-hmm.
and all that. It was honestly a bunch of unhinged horses and children
Uh-huh.
running in circles.
Okay.
But
Love it. I did
yeah.
that too.
Yep, 4-H.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I did quarter horse shows all the way up until like 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then thought I was going to go to college, sold my horse, and that was about it.
Yeah.
But then, like, after that, I'd give lessons and kind of help out in 4-H a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
up until I moved here, I hadn't really been doing much
Yeah.
after that.
When you showed in the quarter horse stuff, were
Mhm.
you more geared towards like the all around, or did you do the hunter under saddle, or like what kind of classes did you focus on?
It was more all around. I did showmanship. That was like my jam.
Mhm.
Love showmanship. Western pleasure, horsemanship, hunter under saddle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kind of all around.
Do you think you have some old Rachel show photos to like throw up right now?
I can ask my mom. But
See if she can dig out some old Rachel show photos.
I don't know about that. I'm usually pissed off in all of them because if I didn't get first, it didn't matter.
Well, even if I'm the happiest that I've ever been on a horse, my face
Yeah.
looks
That's what
terrible.
Katie looks like when she rides. She goes,
That is not what I look like.
and you're like,
It looks like
"Katie,
she's about to
what
go
is
in
that?"
So here's the
to
thing,
the
though.
second half of the Super Bowl, and she's got Eminem blaring in her headphones. She's just like, "Oh
Mom
yeah, baby."
spaghetti.
It's
Focused.
better than it used to be because I worked so long on having my mouth closed. And so I look
Yeah.
mean now because my mouth is closed because I'm like, okay, at least I'm not just like
I'm about to say, could we get
Like-
an example?
like blank face, just mouth hanging open, like because I'm focusing everywhere but my face.
Yeah.
And so it was just like in all of my show photos. And my mom's
All
like,
right.
for the love of God,
Close your mouth.
close your mouth. Like I can remember she wouldn't like I'd be going around like the rail or whatever. And when you're little and you're showing, a lot of the times if you have like your coach and your mom and your whatever, like they'll space out on the rail so that as you're going around, they can be like, hey, do this, do that, like give you little tips.
Yeah.
The entire time, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
For just please shut your mouth. That was always.
With that information known, I do appreciate the stank face a little bit.
The stank face is better now
Yeah.
because at least
At
it's
least
just
you look like zoned and like
stoic.
Yeah, you look locked in. Not like
I have
lost.
not like you're on your 45.
Honestly, I just found it. I found it. It's
right.
not even like zoned out. It's just like
My dad called that the dead salmon eye.
yeah,
dead salmon.
It was
That's
bad.
definitely a Montana thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
the zombie salmon. You know how
No,
'cause
just
they're-
like dead salmon,
Okay.
like that. But cut
Do
that.
you live pretty rural in Montana? Rural?
Rural. Yes.
You have
I think
bears?
there's like, yeah, we got
So
grizzly, we
cool.
got black bear, brown bear.
Montana would be so cool to live in.
Oh, it was. It's cold.
I love the cold.
Well,
Next question.
okay.
Okay, and then like we've made a video before, we've posted about it where you're like cutting Jonathan's hair in the shop,
Yes.
you're doing Abigail's hair, like so you had this whole career and like owned a salon and all. So tell us about that background of your career before this.
Well, I did hair for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I owned my own salon for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What kind of caused the like shift from that industry to wanting to be in more of like a barn atmosphere, even though you're like in a more like managerial position, like still being like outside all the time and like away from that? I mean, what kind of caused that shift?
Honestly, probably a lot of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
People kind of turned crazy. Not my clients. Loved all my clients. No. It got to be too much. I was working like 12, 13-hour days, paying people to watch my kids. I wasn't getting time with them. My husband also ran a trucking company and just, he was working a lot. And it just seemed like we were just working and not raising our kids. And we just needed to get out of Montana. It was getting way too expensive. And
So you came to Williamson County.
no. I'm in Wilson, close to DeKalb, which is a lot
I was gonna say she
cheaper.
does have a haul in the mornings.
Even
Hour.
then, compared to Montana, like
Yeah.
Montana is high.
Yeah, I mean, we sold our house for like 1.3 million.
That's incredible. Like I've been
That's
looking at
insane.
farms out there and
That's
stuff.
crazy.
That's
Mhm.
insane.
And it wasn't anything like, I mean, it was nice, but it was
Yeah.
nothing.
It is the golden land, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think Yellowstone
Yeah.
also for like Montana, Wyoming,
Oh,
like all
yeah,
those things
for
like that show
sure.
Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
I
For
think
sure.
absolutely pushed people there for like the cowboy lifestyle and the being secluded, but then they're turning it into what
Well,
they like
a lot of
were
it was
running from.
COVID because Montana wasn't shut down.
Gotcha.
So all the states that were shut down, they were coming so their kids could go to school.
I didn't know that. I was
Yeah.
wondering why you're like, yeah, because of COVID. And I started getting like 12 and 13-hour days. I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But
I think we were shut down for like 6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And so then they just flock to y'all to still be able to do stuff.
Yep. So we basically sold everything
Mhm.
and bought a house here, and here we are.
And then you have a couple like borders of your own like at your house. And
Yep.
so she like it's very cute. Her barn, her house, it's all very pretty. And so she's got chrome and a couple borders. And then Waylon did have a little extended stay at your house for a little bit.
Yep.
And then now he's back at the barn while he's getting some more like specialized shoeing for a little bit. It just made it
Yeah.
easier with the farrier coming out for
Well,
7.
I live so
and
far away.
Yeah, it was-
There's no way.
It was also, we were wanting to do like PEMF with him. And like,
Mhm.
it was very difficult to get those people out to you. And it just made more sense with them already here weekly and
Yeah.
whatnot. So he's back for a little bit. And honestly, like he's doing so well with Wally. I don't know that Wally has anybody else to hang out with
No.
while he's here. And
They're just so cute.
and I want Wally to mature longer and not get thrown into training too early when he's going to be so gigantic. And
Mhm.
so like he might be hanging out longer than, you know, the other yearlings from his year. And so like he
Which,
has nobody.
Honestly, I get more time with him here
Yeah,
than at my
right.
house.
Right.
Coming from Montana, how did you go? That's where we're going.
Well, funny enough, Reese and I were going to move here about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He has a friend here that he's a professional archer. Reese wanted to get into archery, and he was like, come on, you know, like I'll set you up. You can do all that. And it just never worked out. We got pregnant, and I'm like, I can't have no one
Right.
with a baby. And I've just always been called to the South. I
Mhm.
don't know. It's so warm here.
I'm so sorry that you've been called to the South and then you have us just like giving you so much crap for the way you say bag.
I am working on it. And bag.
I know. She'll be like, can you move that big?
Big.
We're like, what?
So it's an
No,
old
you
hay.
go big.
So
Yeah.
you were called here.
I was
and then you
called
were
here.
mocked.
And then I was viciously mocked daily by my employer
It's great to work for, by the
It's
way.
great to work for.
because she's great to work for. We all love it here. But yeah, we flew out on a whim. Our friend's also a realtor, so they kind of showed us around. We found a house. We put an offer in. They accepted it out of like 3 offers, I think. And
So it was pretty quick. Like once you
Yeah,
decided to come
we-
here.
okay, so we were actually talking about getting an RV and like traveling around the United States to find a place. And then I got to thinking, I'm living in a 2,500, 3,000 square foot house, and I feel cramped with my 2 kids. There's no way that all 4 of us can fit in an RV
Mhm.
and be happy. So we decided to find a house.
We don't have to say your kids' names on here, but with the little one being as spunky as she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even like, I didn't know she was feral at that point. So that would have been,
Oh, yeah. She would have been like not even a person yet.
yeah.
When did you find that out?
What?
The feral.
That she was feral.
Yeah.
I mean, she was always kind of feral, but I'm like, kids,
Yeah.
about 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Terrible 2s aren't super terrible. 3 is
The
where it's at.
nature.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Nate's like, mine's an angel as a little potato. So
Rowan,
Yeah.
or whatever her name is, was sweet baby angel. Like, she had like tummy issues, but totally fine. I'd take her to the grocery store. She was like her little bow, just eating her
Mhm.
little stuff. I thought I was the best parent in the
Right,
whole
'cause
world. I'd see all the other temper tantrums. I'm like, okay. And then the other one came along, and it was like poop. She would dump applesauce on me in the grocery store.
Splendid.
Yeah, and I'd grab her arm. I said, "Don't do that," and she screamed bloody murder. And I had people following me around in Costco, thinking I beat her. So
also, she does tend to have, I feel like a couple days a week you come in with things that she has said to you.
yes,
that
mean things,
Just off the wall.
mean things.
Off the wall.
She doesn't mean to, and we've had
It's
to
just
talk
kids
about
are
that.
very honest.
She told my mom that Rowan doesn't like her, and my mom cried for 2 weeks.
Oh, she told
Mhm.
told your mom.
That Rowan did not like her, because she didn't want Rowan to have the phone to talk to her. And so my mom's like, "Can I talk to Rowie?" And she's like, "She doesn't want to. She doesn't really like you."
Oh, that
Which
would gut me, dude.
And she's in like her preteen age, so sometimes she just like whatever. And my mom went on her raft trip that was supposed to be enjoyable,
Crying because she thought her grandkids didn't
crying
like her.
because she thought she didn't love her. And my mom finally called me and was like, "So I have, like, did I do something, or is there anything I can fix with her?" And I'm like, "What are we talking about?" And she's like, "Well, Rayleigh said that Rowan was mad at me and didn't love me." And I'm like, "No, that's Rayleigh."
So if y'all have 2
Yeah.
daughters, because you both started off with one,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
if you got another one,
Second child. It's
Time
a
will
trip.
tell.
Time will tell.
It's a trip. Mm-hmm.
okay. So pivoting a little bit more to some of the fun questions, like that are just kind of not super serious that people
Okay.
have asked in the Facebook prompt. What's one animal that we don't have on the farm that you want?
Capybara.
Is that really?
I would hate it.
That's
So
the answer.
fun.
So she went to High Point with me
Mm.
last October. And so we like stayed an extra day and like went and, saw the animals and everything. So the capybaras.
They were so cute.
Not the tapers?
Both of them.
I was about to say, I think
I
the
feel like
tapers-
one would precede the other.
Baby capybaras
At that
are
point,
cute.
if we got to that point,
the tapers are where I like think they're hilarious. They were so
they
like,
were.
yeah, Wally and Amy.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't already, go follow High Point Haven. So where my stallions are kept at High Point Performance Horses, they also have some exotics, and they do a lot of wildlife conservation work with giraffes and all kinds of things. And so they have their own page that you can go follow, and they have tours and whatnot too. But okay, capybara, I didn't expect that, but
What'd you expect?
I don't know. What was you were trying to tell me to get something the other day? I can't remember what it is now.
An alpaca.
She'll just send me pictures of things that are for sale and be like,
I
we
mean,
need it.
I don't say that. I just send it and don't get a reply back.
It's always
so-
something for sale though. That and it's just sent, and it's just like
throw it out there.
Why
You know?
not?
It's fine.
okay. What's the hardest part of the job?
Honestly, knowing if you're talking to me or not.
What?
Like when you're filming, like we'll be standing there, just her and I, we put a horse out or something, and I don't know if you're filming.
Oh, I
And
just
then
start talking.
you start
and You start
talking.
like thinking of a response.
I do. I used to respond, and now I kind of wait to see if you go like this or not. Because I never know. Because you'll be like, oh my gosh, Ted looks so cute. And I'll be like, yeah, he does. And then you're like, in a minute.
no, I do not look
Like,
at you.
you don't look at me, but I feel stupid because I'm like, she wasn't even talking to me. Like,
Because that's like, I feel so awkward. Like, okay, so if you watch my Snapchat, you can always tell when Abigail is behind the camera because it's got a funny caption, but no words.
just little
Like,
giggles.
there might be like a little giggle in
Yeah.
it, but no words. She doesn't narrate anything.
Mhm.
Whereas I can't do dead air. Like,
Yeah.
I have to just talk like the entire time. And so if I start filming, I'm talking
Yeah.
like all the time. So I'm
Yeah, but
sorry.
no, it's fine. I've learned to just kind of wait my turn, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Next up on the Reddit page, Katie is abusive to her employees.
That's
they can't
right.
even speak
Can't
in their
even
own.
speak.
They can't even speak at the barn. What are y'all laughing at?
We're still on
We're looking at
capybaras.
capybaras.
They're so
Okay.
cute. I think we should get
The
two.
babies are.
Yes.
Putting you on the spot. What's your least favorite part of the job?
I don't know, because every day is a different day, it seems like, and
I was gonna say we don't really like have a whole like monotonous list of things. Like
No.
it's just kind of different all the time. Glad to hear it.
sorry.
I don't think you're being honest.
I
but
can't think of one off the top of my head, so it can't be that bad if it is. Okay. My least favorite is when you don't respond to my texts.
I think that's everybody's least favorite part. That works
Especially when
around
I
here.
send you animals for sale.
Or so I don't know why I gave her access to the cameras. But I did. I gave her access to the cameras for the goat house, for the mini barn, for the big barn.
Yeah.
And during foaling season, during goat watch, did you see she yawned? Did you see how she just stood there?
I'm so sorry. I'm intently watching to make sure your
did you see
horses
that?
don't give birth
Like
without you being there.
like I got to where I was sending back like gifts that were just like
Now I do it for fun.
Yeah.
now 10 o'clock at night. Did you see how she just stood up?
When
was
she
weird.
was at the lake, I said, just letting you know, Janice is still pregnant.
And I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I will say I'm the worst texter backer ever.
Yeah. Or when I send you texts.
You're
and
not
then-
the only one that I do that to, and I don't mean to.
No, I know. And then you respond back with nothing that my texts were about. And then I'm still wondering.
Sorry.
You just like your earlier text.
I'll be like,
Question-
per our
question mark
last
it.
conversation, just between me and myself.
Or then I get a phone call.
yes.
Hey, so I don't think you saw my text.
You
I'll
must
start-
not have seen my text.
I'll start doing it at 5:30 in the morning.
Honestly, get my butt up. I need to do that. Okay. I'm so not a morning person. I do so much stuff at like the butt crack of night. Like I don't like getting up early.
Because you're young.
Is that it?
100%. I never used to.
I'm not young though. I'm 29.
Yeah.
I'm not that much younger than you.
Yeah, but I am like withered down by 2 children. You get to enjoy your life and eat dinner whenever you want and sleep whenever you want.
I eat at like 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no way.
I'm in bed at 8:30.
Yes.
No, I don't go to bed till like midnight.
That's a lie, but I'm tired at 8:30. I'm really tired at 8:30.
I'm tired when I wake up. So
Okay. This is just a lighthearted ender because there are other things, but this doesn't mean this doesn't have to be the last time you're on here. So other than Chromie, so Chrome is her horse. What other animals do you have at your house?
I have 2 barn cats and 3 kittens.
Mm-hmm.
I have a golden doodle
Named
Bella.
Bella.
I think a golden or a lab. I don't know. She's a doodle. And then I have a rescue dog that comes and goes named Bear. And that's about it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of dead ones because my husband does taxidermy.
We have some taxidermy from Reese. He's so good.
I didn't know where that was going.
Okay, well, like I said, we did. I mean, that does not have to be the only time we ask you questions. So
Could be.
let us know. I was about to say, she's like, please let it be the only time. Let us know. Do you want Rachel back on? If you do, what questions do you think we need to deep dive into? Let us know if you have any questions. Again, we are in the middle of waiting on a mini foal. We are trying to get Regina pregnant. We are about to breed the mini cows. So much stuff. So stay tuned for all of that. And I'll see you in the next one.